my family, we talked about steak before, and that's the whole thing, right? But I take pride in my steaks. I grill the steaks, charcoal only.
You still haven't made me one.
I haven't. No, that's on
on the to-do list.
That's March 14th. Remember?
I don't know if I want it on that day. Any other day.
I don't know if I want to. The kids Vincent would eat steak for every meal of every day. But I'll make them, and I'm proud of this. And, again, we don't season it a whole lot. It's just the charcoal flavor, put it on and then everyone in my family, almost to get to me, pulls out the A1 and they just drown it in. And they don't drown it, but they
use a good dollop.
And it's kind of been a running joke that.
How is it a joke to ruin their food?
I don't.
Dad, look at me! I had this great thing, and I'm ruining it to aggravate you.
Yeah, they definitely know. Well, I don't. I mean, I'll put A1 on a steak if it's like reheated the next day, or if
because you need something to choke it down,
or if it's a cheaper steak,
Okay.
Sure. But I try to get the good steak. I try to get thick steaks. Again, that medium rare. And I was like, I don't need that A1, and so it's kind of been a running gag that they'll actually for Mother's Day I got Kristen some gourmet steak sauces.
Okay, so you're up in the game.
I'm up in the game. Just
that's fantastic. I think I saw somebody making a homemade version of A1. You know how people make recipe dupes.
Yeah, they're the copycat type thing. Yeah.
And this is really hard for me to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. One of the ingredients is Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah, this is hard for you to say. I was expecting this is an ingredient I would never use. It's hard for me to say. No, it's literally
hard for me to say.
Yeah, Worcestershire would be
or Worcestershire
sauce. I think it's Worcestershire. And I don't know if that's like a British.
This is one of the times we can't say type it in the comments because I'm going to read it just like I say it out loud.
Yeah, that's true.
What is that? That's British sauce.
I've seen that before. It's pronounced this. And it's pronounced this. And they're typing the same word.
Yep.
And it's like,
Well, listen, you hear that? I think it's time to take a shot of A1.
There you go.
You are listening to The Soapbox. I'm Paul.
And I'm Eric.
This all started out with a list. What's that all about?
So I've compiled a list over the years of things that just bother me, things that grind my gears. And I shared that list with you.
And I thought, you know what? That would make interesting conversation. Sometimes I'm going to want to agree with you, and it's just going to be something we talk about. Other times, though, I'm going to want to steel man the opposite position because I think that's just interesting conversation.
Yeah, and keep in mind, I'm always right, but Paul's just a really good debater.
Hey.
Appliances. You have appliances at home, right?
I do.
Yeah. Kind of the Fab Four, want the dishwasher,
stove,
refrigerator, microwave, maybe, right? Go to Home Depot.
Does microwave really make it to the Fab Four?
I think they're the ones I buy, and they're the suite. When you buy the suite, at least we did. Okay. We bought all matching.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
are you a brushed steel household?
We have moved to that. I think there was kind of like something in the water, and the whole world decided stainless steel's out, and now you got to go with the
brushed steel. Yeah, I remember seeing some comedy bit, and I can't remember where it's from. So if you know this, put it in the comment section. But a guy invented a little scrubber brush, didn't sell any, and he made it brushed steel, and he's like, and white people love this.
Yes. That's kind of like they were trying to sell a byproduct of making cars. The Ford Motor Company made out of wood, right? And a byproduct was charcoal. And so they had all this extra charcoal, and no one used charcoal.
Is that true? That's where charcoal comes from?
In fact, King's Ford were two guys that built cars, and they had all this byproduct. They're like, how can we get people to buy charcoal? Well, they gave them a free grill with every car you bought.
That's interesting.
And then now you need charcoal for the rest of your...
So you have to buy their industrial byproduct.
Yeah.
That's happened on more than one occasion. Steel wool is the same thing. It's just the trimmings from steel.
Oh,
and some of the factory workers were picking it up off the floor and using it as an abrasive scrubber for, I think, cast iron.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So they said, well, let's turn that into a product.
Yeah. we could turn this into an episode if I knew any more. I didn't. Alltech, Pierce Lyons came from Ireland, right? And is a big beer guy. And there's something about the yeast.
The Vegemite from the bottom of the barrel.
I think it had something to do with the yeast of the beer became a good agent for fertilizer. I'm totally messing this up. But the point being, he launched his biotech company
Based on waste products.
I
That
think.
sounds great. I know nothing about it, but we can start the myth or perpetuate it if it already exists.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. Alltech fans out there.
Awesome. So now all the way back, now we're coming out of our rabbit hole.
Oh, right. Not a trail, is it?
Smiley, you're never going to live this down because you've ruined this for us.
Yeah. We don't know what to call it.
We don't know what to call it. We have an identity crisis as a podcast now.
Oh, we just call it, we'll do a smiley. We did a smiley.
We did a smiley?
Yep. Just went down.
Does he get to have two things though? He's already got the take a shot
That's
thing.
a good point. Never mind.
Okay, we're gonna debate this later.
We'll take it back.
So, appliances.
Appliances. I'm bringing this back. You brought us back. We bought this set of appliances. I think it was, I don't know, Memorial Day deal or whatever. And the dishwasher always gave us some trouble because the drainage line was really long and kids don't like to scrape their plates and just, normal stuff. But gave us a lot of trouble, out of warranty, and something went wrong with it. The guy took a look at it and said, I think it was Mr. Appliance. Good people over there, by the way. It's the drivetrain. And I was like, that sounds...
No, it's a dishwasher. It's not a train.
I was like, there's something about that. And sure enough, there's a little sticker on the front of the thing, 10-year drivetrain warranty. So
you're not the kind of family that peels stickers off of your appliances.
Apparently not.
Look how new it is. Like the folks that keep the sticker on the bill of their hat and then don't put a bend in it.
Right.
Like, are you going to return that hat later?
Or the little plastic stuff on like a charging cable or something like that. Oof. That drives me crazy.
Me too, because it's like that's an impedance to its ability to just ventilate the heat that it's supposed to be able to ventilate. But whatever.
We cannot stand.
How many soapboxes can we put in our soapbox? So, this is like Exhibit from the 90s. You remember Pimp My Ride? Yo, dog, yes. I heard you like rabbit trails, so we're going to put a rabbit hole in your rabbit trail.
Okay. Little slap happy today. That's fine. So Mr. Appliance is like, well, contact the company, and if you can get that part, we'll put it in.
Okay.
I think it was a pretty expensive deal. And I was like, all right, I will contact them. Kenmore? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Contact them. And they're like, well, we can only authorize the part to a authorized installer, or something like that. And Mr. Appliance was, they know how to do this. And I was like, oh, so they have to contact you and okay, well, they'll probably do that. So I even went there, and right there on Southland Drive, they have a little storefront. But it's by appointment only, apparently. And I actually just walked in, and it was like an office space. There's there's no like reception or anything. And I was like, hey, can I ask a question about the warranty? And she said, well, normally it's a point, but okay, what do you got? I was like, well, they said they'll give me the part for free if you guys ask for it. And they were like, well, we can't do that because they had some issue where they ordered a part and they were charged for it. And I think it was a reimbursement type thing. And I was like, man, we'll pay for the part. That doesn't, but they were like, no, we can't, we can't ask for the part. You have to do that. I was like, okay, I'll go back to them and just say, look, they're cool. Here's their address. Here's their phone number. They just need me to do it because they don't want to be on the hook for the price of the thing. And they're like, no, it has to come from them. So then I said, all right, what does it mean to come from them? To me, it means phone number, a name, and an email address. So I'd already communicated with my Green Gmail account. So I grabbed Kristen's email, which is redfox@gmail. It didn't seem very professional. So I said, all right, I called them up. And I said, okay, all right, I got the contact info from Mr. Appliance. They gave me their email and their phone number and the name of the manager and all that. And I gave them the name, and I was like, the email, they're kind of a local operation, so the email's kind of weird, but it's REDFOX plus the plus sign. And she's like, oh, okay. And then Mr. Appliance at gmail.com. And they're like, oh, okay, that's Mr. Appliance. Okay. Yeah, it is. Official, actual. So
this is real.
the fun,
I'm an adult.
The fun bit about this, I don't think we've ever talked about this, but if you have a Gmail account, you can put in the front of your Gmail.
Whatever your actual email address is.
And then before the @ you can put a plus sign, and then you can type whatever you want. And the idea being is you can submit that in a form and track if someone shared your email. So my thought would be, if you really, really cared about this, you could have a little notepad that says 001 is, I signed up for, I don't know, GoDaddy's newsletter. And then so if you document what number you used to put in after the plus sign, you can have a record of where it originated.
Who sold you out?
Who sold you out? Right.
Yeah.
Now I know some web forms get gummed up because of the plus sign, so you have to deal with that. It may, but the point is, if someone emails that address, it will come to you, and then it'll also remind you what number you put on that one. So that was what I did with Mr. Appliance. They're like, okay, let me email you. I'll email them, not me. I'll give myself away in the retelling. So they emailed Kristen the order form. And of course, Mr. Appliance seemingly got it. And then I filled out the form, sent it in or whatever, and got the part. I walked it. I think we even put their address down.
Just had it delivered.
Yeah, and they got the part.
So let me ask the question that Mr. Appliance would ask.
Yeah.
What happens if they bill Mr. Appliance for the part? Obviously, you'd pay for it, right?
Of
but
course.
Do you think there'd be bad blood between you and Mr. Appliance that you violated their policy in some way?
I think the details of the story were a little different, to where it was more like they didn't want to initiate the order. As long as I did that part, they didn't care. Because I even asked them, I was like, can I have it just sent here? And I'm like, sure. So maybe it wasn't as much being on the hook for the bill as much they just have a policy where they can't order it.
Sure.
So
I encountered a similar policy when I was trying to get a prescription filled. So I've mentioned on our needle phobia podcast that I switched doctors.
Yeah.
And consequently, I also switched some medications because the previous doctor had a compounding pharmacy order that turns out I can get as just a regular off-the-shelf drug. But what seemed to be confusing for Walgreens on Harrodsburg Road, I'm calling you guys out, just like I called out Martin Burkhead. Now,
a rabbit hole trail.
Yes.
I tried to Facebook search him a while ago.
Yeah.
I didn't get any hit. I was just curious. And I now, like, people you may know, it's like Martin Buckhead and Martin.
Yeah.
Like, there are a bunch of, like.
I think I said Buckhead. It might have been Burkhead. I have to go find the name tag because I might have got that one wrong. But
I would say he may, if he's Burkhead, he may exist.
But yeah, I'd like to find him too and just send him a message like, hey, I still don't like you. But anyway, so I switched medicine, switched pharmacies, and Walgreens on Harrodsburg Road rejected their order. So UK Healthcare sends in an order, and they reject it. So I call and I ask why, and they said, well, it says here you need 45 milligrams, but we need to know pumps because this was a cream, right? I'm like, so how many milligrams are in a pump? It's just like divide by 2.
Yeah, but there's a thing here.
Yeah. Well, do you want my 5-year-old to come do this math for you?
Yeah.
So I had 6 phone calls back and forth, 3 to each institution before I finally got a pharmacist on the line. I was like, listen, I know you guys had to do math, right, to get this degree. Can you do simple math for me and be a rational human being for a moment? And the guy was taken aback that I was speaking to him like that. And I wasn't being mean, but at this point, like, I'm out. I need more. Come on, help me out, dude. So finally, I was like, yeah, hang on a second. And you can tell, like, it was like probably the calculator app on his phone.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you're good. Come pick it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they've got all these policies. Well, we have to have it in this specific type of measurement. It's like, well, do pharmacies not do conversions?
Yeah. I could see that, a group of people that maybe are particularly not good at math, they would make that a policy. So we wouldn't ask the teller at McDonald's to do the math in their head to make change, right? That would be,
We haven't for a long time. Yeah.
that would be a mistake. I think the computers will do that. So I wouldn't ask the McDonald's person to do the conversions, but a pharmacist.
The McDonald's person doesn't have the key code to the safe that dispenses
That's true.
methamphetamines.
Yeah, exactly. So if you've
Or
got
amphetamines. It's probably not meth. They probably don't do meth. I don't know. Pharmacies, right?
if they have keys to that medicine cabinet, then they should probably be able to do the conversion. And they've taken chemistry. It's just like
Maybe they cheated.
yeah, that could be.
That actually kind of brings me to another rabbit trail. Maybe the episode title will just be Rabbit Trails today.
That's fine.
Cheating when it comes to doing your work. Earlier today, I did a thing that would maybe in some circles be frowned upon. I took code for a project that you and I are both working on. And there's one little artifact in this project where we made a web app. And I say we, I mean Eric made it, and I just kind of prettied it up a little bit on the front end.
Looks really good now, though.
Full credit for Eric's work on that one. I don't want to take any credit where it's not due. But
Award-winning app, right?
it is an award-winning app. Yes. So our crash data access tool had a little thing at the bottom of the screen where it was just sort of giving you a peek under the hood at some JavaScript that was running in the background. And we couldn't figure out, why is this popping up? Why is this here? This is a script. It shouldn't be here. It should run as a script and then not display text. And we looked at this 2 years ago, decided too much headache, other priorities exist. So I doctored up the page by making the footer the same color as the text and just hiding the text. And
you could highlight it with your cursor and you could see it, but
yes. And if you happen to print the page as a PDF, then it would show up because the PDF gets rid of the style. However, it was a decent workaround for a problem we didn't really want to contend with.
And in my mind too, because I'm one of the guys that's like, it's not worth the effort.
Yes.
What it actually showed on the page was a version of your query. So it actually was kind of a
feature,
a log of sorts.
Are you trying to sell me charcoal, Mr. Ford?
I am. The byproduct of it.
Yeah, I don't buy that.
Yeah, but we do log that kind of stuff anyway. So it's if someone wanted to copy and paste that, it could be a good thing to say, hey, go ahead and copy and paste this invisible text on the bottom and send
hidden log file.
And send that to me. That'll tell me what your query is, and I can reproduce it. And then it looks like we did it on purpose.
There you go. We should have gone that route. Here's what I did instead.
Yeah.
I just copied the relevant sections of the code, both the JavaScript code and also the ASPX page code, and I think maybe some VB that you pointed out to me. And I asked ChatGPT, I'm like, why is this happening? And ChatGPT not only found the answer exactly, but it also gave us several scenarios where we could try it this way. But professionally, you should actually do it this way. And you need to consider exporting your JavaScript and making it a separate attachment JS, sidecar file.
Yep.
So it not only gave us a solution, but it corrected our form. And we're probably not going to go to the extent of all the things that it told us to do, but a problem that's eluded us for 2 years, I solved with one well-worded query in about 5 minutes.
I was blown away because you could literally have copy and pasted its solution and it would have worked. We fixed it easier, but there's nothing wrong with its solution. And to be fair, all of the incorrect formatting and things that happened in the JavaScript and all this. You giving me credit for the tool. You got to give me credit for the mistakes too, because I'm not a JavaScript guy. I'm a .NET guy, and I had to use the JavaScript to do some mapping stuff, and so it was a hack. But yeah,
it
works.
I think that's most of society is sort of being held together with hacks, bubblegum, and duct tape, right?
Yeah. Well, and eventually ChatGPT is going to just do all this for us.
So now let's pretend like we have a really intelligent segue. Hacks.
hacks?
Because this is the other thing that you had talked about before we got on the microphone here, and that is some Gmail hacks or some email hacks. Since your solution to your appliance issue was kind of a hack, right?
Yeah.
It was a feature.
Yeah, sure.
Certainly it was a feature, but also not a feature a lot of people know about.
Yeah.
Is there other stuff that you're aware of in email land, specifically maybe with the consumer grade? Oh,
Taking a shot.
take a shot. The consumer grade type email platforms, Gmail, Hotmail, whatever, that might just be kind of good best practices. And I've got one if you need a second to think.
I have one, I think, and maybe it's the same, maybe it's not, but
Go for
yeah,
it.
you can put a dot anywhere in your Gmail email address to the left of the @ sign, right? So I could do I.R.K.G.green or something like that. And a lot of people I know put a dot like, Eric.green.
Just to give visual distinction.
Yeah. But I think a lot of people think it has to be there.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it doesn't. My daughter actually has a dot in her email, and it's,
For exchange mail, it does have to be there.
yeah, that is.
I came to the University of Kentucky, and there was already a Paul Ross that had been here, and he already got the Paul.Ross at UKY. So I had to go no dot, and that was very confusing for people for a while because a lot of my original email before I got just stuck in people's autocomplete went to the wrong address.
They were probably searching. Yeah.
And that person didn't even work here anymore.
Oh.
So they still had that entry. This was back when UK wasn't doing a really good job of purging old entries in Active Directory and in their email system.
Can you get them both now? Or
I think maybe I have to look into that. I quit caring about 5 years ago because every time I get an email, it's more work. So
you don't need more more email. So that's fair.
But
yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting one because it goes both ways depending on the system that you're using.
Yeah,
so.
it would be bad to think that this applies to all email. So we should preface that. I don't think the plus sign. I'm not aware of the plus sign working for other services.
I think that's a Google specific thing because for a while didn't they have Google Plus and they were making a big deal about the plus.
Maybe, yeah.
Of course, that was also the name of their social network, so they were probably thinking that would be a really good brand maneuver.
I suspect Google has a lot of. That's my understanding that they do a lot of like on Fridays, don't work on any of your projects, just play, just work on cool. And a lot of, I think even Gmail came out of that. So where, that the employees will just have free time to just try a different thing. And that plus sign, I imagine someone, because my dad used to do this. I'll do this and then get your email one. But my dad used to do this with mail. And what he would do is he would spell his name. He's John Green, so he's got a lot of Jonathan, Jon, John, Green with an E at the end. I'd like to see Green with no E, just GRN, because I get that all the time. It's like, oh, Green, is that with an E?
Nope, it's spelled Grun.
No, just GRN, no E. Anyway, so he would keep...
So you've been Irk for a while, but now you're Irk Gern.
Irk Gern.
Are you Swedish? Irk Gern? Bork, bork, bork.
So my dad would famously had a log, probably right next to his Bible with the pot leaf in it, right? He had this log in his office where he would write down how he spelled his name and then who he gave his address to. Because I think you throw it in the address too.
So he was a hacker before his time.
It was, yeah.
Was he one of the guys that had the Captain Crunch whistle to get free long distance phone calls?
Is that a thing?
Did you not know this thing?
No.
Okay, so going back into the history of hacking, spoofing, and online systems, dial tone telephones were kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
As soon as they moved away from the rotary dial, the dial tone basically told the switchboard how to connect calls using a kind of a primitive computer system.
Touch tone, is that, or is this before touch tone?
Probably is the touch tone system. I don't know the intricate details of it. This is the high level.
Yeah.
But within that, there was a certain tone, a certain frequency that if that frequency was played over the receiver, it told the system to reset. So you could make a long distance call. It would prompt to put in payment details. You blow your Captain Crunch whistle, which you got as a toy in Captain Crunch cereal, which just so happened to be the exact frequency that reset their switch. And then the call would act like you'd put money in and it would complete.
Wow.
And so there was this huge sort of underground hacking movement to get free long distance calls. And to this day, if you go on eBay right now, you can buy a Captain Crunch whistle because people want that piece of computing history.
What about a Captain Crunch shot glass?
You might need one with all this rain outside. Take a shot.
That's fascinating. That makes me think of another phone hack. I mean, we're just
on a roll here.
We would skateboard in Cedarburg in like late 80s, early 90s, and none of us, of course, had cell phones. That wasn't a thing. But if you wanted to call your buddies, payphones were the thing.
Oh, yeah.
So for our younger listeners, payphones are these devices that are, anyway.
So we don't have any younger listeners. Right. They all think that middle-aged men shouldn't be on podcasts. Vivian.
Yeah. So because a quarter was too much to carry in our pockets, did we get this from War Games? Matthew Broderick. Maybe they did this in there. Anyway, someone told us that basically, if you took the receiver and you had a really, heavy nail, and you pierced through like the plate of the talking part of the phone, and then you had a little wire. We all skateboarded around town with a little piece of insulated wire that was a heavy duty wire that had exposed on both ends, and you would take the pierced plate metal, touch it to the frame of the phone,
and it would ground it.
And it would ground it, short something out, and I don't remember if you had to do it a couple times or it clicked or something, and it make free phone calls all day long.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
now that is kind of a hacky thing. The Captain Crunch whistle was just a sort of happenstance, but that's like now I'm doing a hardware spoof of the system.
Yeah, we had a bunch of phones in town just kind of rigged like that, and I think maybe when we left the wire nearby, that we were. Whew.
That's hilarious. All right, so email. I'm going forward a couple of decades back into what we were talking about. Here's my hack. I've recently seen this, and I think it's a good one. Set up. Oh well, let's do two here. I'm going to do 2 in 1.
Yeah.
So first of all, many people maybe don't do this or don't realize this is possible. But with Gmail, you can click an email, and then along your contextual menu at the top, you can say filter messages like this, and you can create some pretty advanced filters.
Yeah.
Which I think is a great idea. Gmail now has set itself up so it gives you promotions and your main inbox,
different tabs
for really social media and receipts or something. I don't know. I don't use them, but
I rarely have important emails in all those tabs. Sometimes I do, but it usually makes sense. But yeah,
it helps you filter out some of the noise.
Yes.
But if you want to do this manually, one, you can look at who the repeat offenders are that you kind of maybe want to get email from occasionally. I get a lot of hockey monkey and just different things that there's a season where I care because they might send me a coupon. There might be a good promotion, but most of the time I don't care.
Yeah.
And they still 2-3 times a week want to send me communications. So I had been filtering just by the name of the organization. But if you filter by the words unsubscribe or just the word unsubscribe.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Turns out most of your friends and family and professional businesses and places that you're doing business with don't put the word unsubscribe in an email.
Yeah.
So you can set up a filter, unsubscribe, and then just archive the message so that it doesn't go to the inbox. Add a label to it so that it goes to a secondary box where you can catch it in case you want to monitor it.
Yeah.
And then filter out a ton of the noise.
Man.
So if you filter by unsubscribe, then you can clean up your inbox. And that became a problem for me. Maybe in the last 2 weeks, I got a notification that my inbox was like 70% full.
Oh, see, I'm 92. I don't know how to fix this.
So I have been for years just chucking promotional emails into a promotional box. So I spent probably 20 minutes, 100 at a time, select all, delete all, select all, delete all. And I deleted every promotional email, something like 9,000 messages.
How much did that move your usage?
Quite a bit.
Really?
So when I did that, and then I also looked at some repeat offenders, and then I did, you can also do a search for the size. So if you want to do a search for file size equals 10 megabytes, 10 MB. Yeah. Well, it's going to look for everything 10 megabytes and smaller. Yeah. So I started in a small increment. I said like 3 megabytes and then 5 and then 10. But then I could look at, okay, what are these jokey attachments that my dad sends me all the time that are video files and image files that are large enough that they're contributing to the problem that I don't have any sentimental attachment to and I want to get rid of. And I nerfed a whole bunch of the big storage that way and then got rid of all the promotional stuff. And I'm back down below 40% usage.
Whew. I'd be lucky to get to 70. I'd be happy at 70.
Yeah. So I think they're worth the cost of admission for today.
I'm about ready to pay $1 a month just to get the Google Drive storage. That's what they want.
And so let's go down another rabbit trail. Google Drive storage.
Yeah.
As employees at the University of Kentucky, when I got hired on almost 10 years ago now, one of the perks was that the university had a relationship with Google where they were paying for unlimited storage. Unlimited. Now, this word unlimited doesn't mean unlimited. It means unlimited, asterisk, and then 75 pages of lawyer text explaining why if you use too much, you've angered the IT gods and you will be sacrificed at their altar. Right. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
Some people were storing torrents and movies and all their pictures and videos. And I think I heard on an IT call that there were folks that had like north of 10 terabytes, which I don't think I've generated 10 terabytes worth of email, pictures, and video in my lifetime. So this must have been a very impressive, deep cut collection of all movies ever made or something.
If you put software in there, I might be, now I'm not 10 terabytes, but
it was big. And maybe it was like LiDAR data or some huge data set.
Well, that's,
So there could have been a legitimate reason for this, but consequently, the university decided they didn't want to keep paying for this because they had to start paying for storage because Google realized that their whole have unlimited storage and then just make it always free model wasn't very profitable.
Yeah.
Because they used to just advertise. They would read your email automatically, then they would send you relevant advertisements, and that was a profitable model. But the landscape on internet advertising has shifted.
Yeah. In fact, Google said early on, Gmail said early on, that they were, and I don't know if they promised it, but they slowly increased your inbox size
to match your usage.
So that you specifically said, so that you don't have to delete anything.
Yes.
They said just keep all you, because they want you to keep the emails. They want the data.
Yes. But it turns out that they can build a profile on you with that data and then they don't need it anymore.
Yeah. They don't need you to keep it once they've scanned it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they do build a shopper profile on you.
Yeah.
They build a relational database about who you know,
Yep.
who you contact, what you talk about, what your buying behaviors are.
There was a security expert worked for Microsoft. I think it was on Sam Harris's podcast, Making Sense, and he.
The name of the podcast, Making
Sense. Yeah. Take a shot there. It's coming. What is this, 4 or 5 so far?
I don't know, but please don't actually take this many shots this quickly. That's not safe.
Unless it's of A1, right?
There you go.
It's a callback. So this security expert doesn't have a Gmail account for that reason, but also doesn't email people with a Gmail account.
Because he doesn't want them to get the tendrils into his safe net system.
Because that's the thing. It's like exactly like you said, they can build a profile on the people that you email.
Yes.
So now they have the conversation between you two. So now somebody's got an AOL account and they're emailing someone the Gmail. Well, now they got data on that AOL account.
Yeah. And these things are designed that way. You can have only the illusion of security. You can't really have security. If you're putting something on the internet, you have to assume that it's going to be accessible by other people. And I think, if there's a takeaway for today, that can be it. As many things as you do to sort of protect yourself, at the end of the day, you're not anonymous. You don't have confidentiality beyond the appearance of those things.
And let's face it. I mean, if you, every time you logged into Netflix, if it wiped the Clate Sleen of your...
The Clate Sleen?
Did I say that?
You did.
I wish I knew how to edit better. I would fix that. But
wipe the slate clean.
Wipe the slate clean of your viewing history, where you are, where you left off on a season, where you left on an episode. And if every time you logged in Netflix, you had to go back to square one, I mean,
that wouldn't be a good experience. No.
So
I think tracking has its purpose. I think it's good in moderation. I would like to see a few more consumer protections. One of the big ones would be the ability to opt out at any time. Like, you've got my data, but I don't want you to have it anymore.
Yeah.
So purge
me.
And I don't know that ability exists, because for all the services we've signed up for, one of the reasons that it's free is that we are the product.
Yeah.
And if we are the product, we can't guarantee that hasn't been sold on some exchange or marketplace. So even if Facebook did decide to get rid of my information, or Google decided to get rid of my information, they have already sold a profile about me to who knows who, with who knows what rights to also turn around and resell it themselves. And so people know you, they know your buying habits, they know your social circles. It's nearly impossible to live in 2025 and not participate in that economy at some level, because even if you are not doing it, you're in an environment where it's happening to you and around you, regardless of your willingness to participate.
Yeah, and the inconvenience of not even, being, like I said, with Netflix and other things. You would really, really change your internet convenience quite a bit, I think.
Yeah, and I think for the most part, unless you are the security expert or work for the NSA or have some sort of like crazy need for security, you got to kind of make peace with the fact that you're probably pretty average, and nothing that you're doing is really worth opting out, because everybody else is already in the system too.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good PSA. So yeah.
All right, so we should end this with the more you know. Thanks for listening to the Soapbox, Eric. How can people find us?
Well, conveniently, we put everything on our Linktree site. You can go to Linktree, search SoapBox Lex, and you'll find all of our socials there, plus ways to reach us, ways to engage, and some of our original content, so you can see some of the other stuff that we do.